The history of Missouri State football is woven into the fabric of this field. A field that has witnessed triumphs, challenges, and the relentless spirit of the Bears. Plaster Stadium as we know it today stands as a beacon of our past, present, and future. But before this stadium became the home to thousands of roaring fans, it had different names: Briggs Stadium, SMS Stadium, and the Plaster Sports Complex. With a capacity of 17,500, it's hard to imagine that this field started with far fewer eyes upon it. Though today we hope to see even more seats filled and dream of future updates to this historic stadium, the energy and passion from those who do come fuel the program's growth. It's here that the foundation of Missouri State football was built, and it's on this field that the Bears continue to write their story. One man who knows this field better than most is Coach Rich Johanningmeier, who was not only a standout player here, but also a coach who led the Bears to glory during a critical time in the program's history. Johanningmeier's journey began in 1960 when he became a 3-year starter at both offensive and defensive tackle, earning All-American honors and helping lead the Bears to an unbeaten season in 1963. After a brief professional career, Johanningmeier returned to the Bears, but this time as head coach. His leadership, spanning a decade from 1976 to 1985, saw the program evolve from Division II to Division I AA, all while building one of the most powerful offenses the school has ever seen.
When I came back in 1976 to take over as the head coach, our locker room was underneath Briggs Stadium. And unfortunately, it wasn't much of a locker room. It was really a bunch of iron hooks that the players used, and there was a shower in there. And during that time, our offices were here on King Street in some of the old houses, which have now been all torn down, and this whole area all redeveloped. Well, at one point, the university gave some consideration as to painting and quote-unquote fixing up our locker room under Briggs Stadium. And I did not think it would be a good use of the university's money to do that. And I had talked with Ray Forsyth, who was a former student athlete here and was on the Board of Regents. And Ray came over and he took a look underneath our locker room under Briggs and agreed that he did not want the university to spend any more money on that particular facility. Well, what happened subsequently, the season starts and we have an outbreak of a staph infection. And the staph infection ran through our team. We later found out through the CDC that we had one player that was a carrier that would also infect others, and we had one player that was a carrier that would only self-infect. But to make a long story short, with the idea of looking at fixing up underneath Briggs Stadium, along with the staph infection, I think Ray Forsyth began to see that we actually needed a new facility. And this is really how the Forsyth facility came into existence. It looks like a completely new building. It's hard to even picture what we had and what we were able to use. We used to have a big meeting room over here, and the coaches' offices were over in this area in football. And then the athletic director, baseball, was on the other side of the building. And even looking downstairs, we had not only a football locker room, we had 2 other sports that used those locker rooms. And besides that, we had a weight training facility. For the time the building was built, was a pretty good one. Now it would be not even marginal at the best. See this guy here, Keith Williams, great player out of St. Louis that we recruited. People were just amazed when they found out he came on a half a scholarship and a Pell Grant. 4 years later, he was the second pick of the Atlanta Falcons. Great player, great guy. Right at that tunnel, and they'd start playing that Bear Fight song, that tunnel would just vibrate. I mean, you want to talk about if you couldn't get your juices flowing at that point, you weren't going to get them going that day. In 1976, when I came back here, we were members of the MIAA, which was an in-state league. We had been members for numbers and numbers of years, and we began to, I think our third year, we won, 78, we won the MIAA. And there's a number of records those guys set as a football team, and we began to solidify and have a pretty good winning program every year. Then all of a sudden, about in the middle of my tenure here, the decision was made that we were going to move into Division I for all of our sports and 1AA football for us. A lot of people were ready to write us off, that we were all going to be fired because we were not going to be able to coach on that level. First year, we had a losing season. After that, we never had another losing season in 1AA.